Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the show, The Farmer's Diary. Today we're right here at the University of Zimbabwe Agro-Industrial Park, where we've been invited by the university together with Incaptta to see the work that they have done at the Agro-Industrial Park, especially the poultry section. My name is Tanyara Zomtizo and I'm your host for the show, The Farmer's Diary.
My name is Farai Augustine. I'm the manager, poultry equipment installations and agri-structures at Incaptta. Our special services for the poultry industry is providing farmers with the proper equipment that they require to make their projects successful, which includes water systems, PVC poultry curtain installations, polypropylene ceilings for temperature control, and automated feeding systems.
My name is Dr. Jacob Gusha. I'm an animal scientist and the director of the University of Zimbabwe Agro-Industrial Park. The University of Zimbabwe Agro-Industrial Park houses a number of enterprises which are trying to make sure that we move away from the old teaching methods whereby we used to have education 3.0 to move to education 5.0, which encourages participation of students to make sure that they are capable of producing goods and services. And from the project that we have, one of the most interesting and exciting projects that we have is the poultry project. The poultry project that we have is constructed currently we have got 3 poultry houses, with each with a capacity, a total capacity of over 60,000 beds. So the poultry houses, they are equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment, which is aimed at increasing productivity as well as minimizing the cost of production. So you would find out that in the poultry production unit, where we have got 12 by 120 meters houses, we have put in silos, we have put in automated watering system, automated feeding system, which try to reduce the number of workers that we are going to be having at the hub, but at the same time making sure that we are productive and we are at the best in terms of profitability of the enterprise. At the same time, our students, they take time to make sure that they go there and learn most of the things that are there. So it means the Agro-Industrial Park poultry section is actually an integrator where we have got engineers coming in to look at the current state-of-the-art equipment that is there and find a way of making sure that this equipment is installed. So we also make sure that our students, they also appreciate the current state-of-the-art equipment that can be used in poultry production, thereby making sure that they learn the modules such as poultry production module in a very interesting and easy way of appreciating the issues that are there.
What Incaptta does is equipping farmers with the proper equipment that actually makes a poultry project successful. So in that case, for example, for the PVC curtains, material that is specially meant to control in-house temperatures. Chickens require temperatures between 33 to 35 degrees Celsius at brooding stage. So that is when poultry curtains have the most crucial use in as far as production is concerned, because it actually helps maintain the in-house temperatures by insulating the walls and trapping the heat inside, but not at the expense of the oxygen inlets. So in that case, PVC poultry curtains play a very, very pivotal role in making sure that a poultry project is very, very successful. The same applies with the PVC polypropylene ceiling that we actually mount inside the fowl run from the roof, which actually prevents the heat that comes from the IBR sheets right onto the on the floor space where the chickens will be. This actually gets to exert a lot of heat on the floors, which may actually, in the end, consequently cause heat stress on the chickens, thereby compromising the overall growth of the chickens. The other thing is we also do water systems and feeding systems, automated feeding systems, and the general automated water lines. This is an approach that has come in the recent years. I think some 3 or 4 years in Zimbabwe. That is the time which has which it has begun to trend, and we actually initiated the trend of the water systems and the pen feeder systems. Basically, what the automated water systems helps a farmer to do is to get to cut the cost, the production costs, as well as the wage bill, the farmer's wage bill. Because, for example, if we look at the forum that we have here, it's 120 meters by 12 meters. That capacity has got, we're using a conventional approach, can actually get to be manned by workers who around 8 or 10 workers if it's a conventional system. But in the case of automated water systems and feeder systems, the system is highly automated to such an extent that you might actually require even just 2 people to manage a forum of such a length and capacity.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so right now we are encouraging Education 5.0 in Zimbabwe, and the university has taken it up a step further by introducing actually Education 5.0 at their own farm, the UZ Agro-Industrial Park. So right here they have their poultry section, and this poultry section, it has a lot of technologically advanced equipment that Zimbabwe has never seen. And I hope the students that are studying agriculture right here at the university are going to take those practical hands-on lessons and put them in the agriculture sector in Zimbabwe to improve and to enhance our sector as a whole. So why is it important for farmers to actually adopt these new trends in the agriculture sector?
Firstly, to start with, it's something that actually cuts the cost, a farmer's costs in general. Why? Because using the conventional approach to it, the old approach, we know we've been doing chickens for quite a long time. People building 10-meter houses, 10 by 10, and the suppliers of the chickens or the chicks actually it would strictly state that would need 10 beds per square meter for such a forum for you to do to achieve some proper production. But in the case of the automated water systems and the feeder systems and other complementary poultry hardware, we have seen a shift from such an approach or capacity-wise. Automated water systems and drinker systems can actually increase a farmer's carrying capacity. For example, a 10 by 10 space could actually house 1,000 beds. But in the case of an automated water system and feeder systems, the capacity increases from 10 beds per square meter to 13 beds per square meter if it's a fully automated system. So when we say a fully automated system, we're referring to a house, a poultry house that has got automated feeder systems and automated water systems working together. But in that case as well, we also have a semi-automated system. A semi-automated system comprises of manual feeders, the regular feeders that we normally use, those feeding troughs, and the automated water systems. So basically, when we're using a semi-automated system, we are looking at around 11 beds per square meter, which also it gets to increase the capacity that that a farmer can actually have, deviating from the norm that people have been used to, like 10 beds per square meter strictly. So automation actually helps increase the carrying capacity of a farmer. So I'm sure it's something that it can actually help a farmer minimize their expenditure in as far as building more fowl runs, as they can actually capitalize on the ones that they would have built, but not without compromising the growth that they aspire for.
That's very interesting. So, what's the carrying capacity of the fowl runs that are here at the University of Zimbabwe Agro-Industrial Park?
By a conventional approach, this whole area, the 3 fowl runs that we have, could actually house around 36,000 beds. But with the advent of automation, the feeding systems and the water system that we have installed here, the capacity now is leaped from 36,000 to 54,000.
Wow. Wow.
And it's very feasible without any complications.
Wow. So you see, the advent of technology and us as farmers adopting new agricultural technologies and modernization ways of doing things, we could actually increase our productivity. And also, the more production we run, that's the more money you get. So you should get in touch with these guys and make sure you bring them to your farm. They tell you what you need to do, and then you do it as soon as possible. Because those numbers, they are real numbers. And these numbers, at the end of the day, they bring money to your wallet. And we all know agriculture is a business now. And we're trying by all means to make money from these agriculture activities that we're doing.
So here at University of Zimbabwe, we first started with the fowl run, the 120 meter by 10 meter fowl run. And then we also later did 120 by 12 meter fowl run. All these fowl runs had silos and PVC poultry curtains and fully automated water systems and feeder systems that were regulated, including dosatrons, the vaccination systems that we use for vaccinating beds, especially for a project of such a magnitude. And so basically what happens here is that a truck comes, they've got bulk load trucks that actually come and pour in the feed into the silo from the top. And then inside the silo, there is an orgamatic system, which is mainly concentrated on the lower half of the silo, that actually pushes feed through a lower throttle inside the fowl run with the pipe that you see here. And from there, feed actually comes into the fowl run and actually gets into a feed line. A feed line is just a channel that just carries feed from the silo or from the wall of the fowl run into along the width of the fowl run into the hoppers. So when the feed is thrown into these hoppers, it's actually propelled along the length of the fowl run with the auger that runs inside the 50 millimeter steel pipe that you see here. And then feed is propelled throughout the fowl run to the mortar. So the mortar actually has got a sensor. There is a sensor that is mounted on the first pen feeder near the mortar. So it is especially designed in such a way that when the feed reaches the last pen feeder, the sensor actually senses that feed has reached the far end of the fowl run, and then it actually triggers a stop. And then when that happens, the consumption process begins or continues until the feeders are empty, including the first feeder that has got the sensor. So when the first feeder with the sensor, it senses that the feed is complete, or the feed has been, or the feed has been consumed, it actually sends a message to the to the motor, and then the motor begins to drive more feed from the hoppers. So basically, that's how this system works. And as for the nipple drinkers, we always make sure that we elevate our water tanks to a specific height that actually gives us a pressure, the required pressure for our regulators to do what we call thrusting. Thrusting is a process whereby the regulators themselves actually pushes the water throughout the length of the forerun to the further end of the forerun where we mount breathers. So in that case, it's a displacement mechanism that actually happens through and through as the chickens consume water, whereby each and every drop or meals that have been consumed by chickens at a given time is immediately replaced by the regulator's diaphragm, which is a device that is mounted inside the regulator, the water regulators. And then we've got the dosatron, or the vaccination panel. The vaccination panel consists of a piston that actually draws water from the main tank and siphons it into the regulators, so that they actually get to do the thrusting process which I've just talked about. So basically, that's just how it is, and it's quite a very efficient system. So here we've got two systems, that is the water pressure regulators and the vaccination panel, as well as three, as well as the winching devices that actually elevates the water lines and the feed lines from the ground as the chickens grow. So basically, what happens is that water comes in through these pipes, and then it actually gets to this dosatron. The dosatron actually sucks the water from a container that will be on the floor, and then it actually diffuses the water into the mainstream of the main line of the water system, and then it's distributed through the feed lines into the regulators, and then the regulators do what we call thrusting, which is exerting pressure throughout the length of the forerun, so that we get the actual pressure that is recommended at a certain stage of growth for the chickens.
Working with Incaptta has been a very thrilling and amazing journey with us. We've worked with them for the past 2-3 years now. Our farm in Marondera is basically automated with drinkers. So when we started, it was just the traditional fowl run, commercial fowl run with no automation. We introduced the drinking feeders, which are automatic, and we managed to increase the amount of birds in our house by about 20%, which gave us a bit more capital than we would have got beforehand. Now, with our farms in Chakari and Chegutu, we're now basically, they will be putting in automated drinkers and automated feeders, which will increase our birds per unit by 40%, 30 to 40%. So we'll be looking at about 13 to 14 birds per square meter. And not only that, we've got so much confidence with Incaptta, with what we've witnessed in Marondera, that we're going through the whole system. We're getting the silos, which will automatically put in, like with the feeders. On top of that, we're getting the cooling system with the fans to help regulate the temperatures in our house. So that one, I can't wait for that experience, because it's going to increase our units to 100%. So instead of having like 10 birds per square meter, we'll be looking at about 19 to 20 birds per square meter. So it's absolutely amazing. We can't wait, because the returns on our investments will be just blowing our minds out. So honestly, I'd recommend these guys any time of day. Very professional. They follow up, give you guarantees, and touch wood, we've never had any problems with them. So I would highly recommend Incaptta.
So where can farmers find you?
We are located at number 17432 Chiremba Road, Hillside.
And your phone numbers, your social media handles?
0774 937 250 or 0714 258 125. Instagram, Incaptta Agri-Structures. Facebook, Incaptta Agri-Structures as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for hosting us today.
All right, cheers, my pleasure.